Hello, basketball fans, and welcome back to the DX Hoop, your ultimate destination for NBA analysis, trade rumors, and all things basketball. If you're a Golden State Warriors fan, you're in for a treat. Today, we'll dive deep into trade scenarios that could reshape the season and determine the future of this iconic franchise. From the potential addition of Zach LaVine to the epic possibility of Kevin Durant's return, we'll explore every angle. But before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Let's jump right in. The Warriors find themselves at a pivotal moment in their storied history. With Stephen Curry still playing at an MVP level, the team is searching for ways to sustain their dynasty while navigating the challenges of an aging core and a competitive Western Conference. This season has exposed the cracks in their foundation. Losing key players like Klay Thompson to injury has left a significant void, not just in terms of strategy, but also in chemistry. Thompson's ability to space the floor, defend multiple positions, and complement Curry's brilliance is irreplaceable. Without him, the Warriors are trying to reinvent themselves. While the franchise has built a reputation for resilience, the road ahead is steep. With each passing game, the need for reinforcements becomes more urgent. The question is, will the Warriors make a bold move before the trade deadline? Golden State's front office, now led by Mike Dunleavy Jr., has been exploring the trade market for a player who can complement Curry and Draymond Green while ensuring the team remains competitive for years to come. The tools are there: valuable draft picks, promising young players, and a willingness to make tough decisions, but finding the perfect target is no easy task. Several names have emerged in trade rumors, but two stand out: Kevin Durant and Zach LaVine. Both players bring unique skill sets and would address critical needs for the Warriors, but the implications of acquiring either are vastly different. Let's start with the possibility of Kevin Durant's return to Golden State. Durant's tenure with the Warriors from 2016 to 2019 was nothing short of legendary. Together, Durant, Curry, and Green formed one of the most dominant trios in NBA history, winning back-to-back championships and redefining modern basketball. But Durant's departure in 2019 was complicated. Seeking to establish his own legacy outside the shadow of the Warriors system, he left for the Brooklyn Nets. The move left a bittersweet taste for fans and players alike. Now, with Durant playing for the Phoenix Suns and the Suns struggling to find consistent success, whispers of a potential reunion have begun to surface. Durant's skill set is tailor-made for Steve Kerr's system. His ability to score at all three levels, combined with his defensive versatility, makes him one of the most valuable players in the league. He's already familiar with the Warriors' culture and would seamlessly integrate into their style of play. However, reuniting with Durant wouldn't be easy. For one, his hefty contract would complicate the Warriors' salary cap situation. Additionally, Phoenix would need to be willing to part ways with him, likely in exchange for a package involving young prospects like Jonathan Kuminga, Moody, and future draft picks. Beyond the logistical hurdles, there's an emotional aspect to consider. Would Durant want to return to Golden State after leaving to carve his own path, and how would fans perceive such a move? These questions make the possibility of Durant's return both exciting and daunting. While Durant represents a nostalgic gamble, Zach LaVine offers a more pragmatic solution. The Chicago Bulls' explosive shooting guard is known for his scoring prowess, athleticism, and ability to create his own shot, averaging 237 points, 49 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. LaVine could be the offensive spark the Warriors need. LaVine's ability to break down defenses and score in isolation would take some pressure off Curry, who often has to carry the offensive load. His athleticism and shooting range make him a natural fit for the Warriors system, and his presence would add a new dimension to their offense. However, acquiring LaVine comes with its own set of challenges. His defense has been inconsistent, and his massive contract, 5 years, $215 million, raises questions about the financial feasibility of such a deal. Trading for LaVine would likely involve parting with Andrew Wiggins, one of the team's best defenders and a key contributor during their 2022 championship run. Losing Wiggins would significantly impact the Warriors' defensive identity, placing even more pressure on Kerr to find alternative solutions. The Warriors' dilemma goes beyond simply choosing between Durant and LaVine. It's about balancing short-term success with long-term sustainability. With Curry under contract through 2026, the window for another championship is open, but not indefinitely. Should the Warriors prioritize immediate reinforcements to maximize Curry's prime? Or should they exercise patience, allowing young talents like Kuminga, Moody, and Jordan Poole to develop into future stars? This decision will shape the franchise's trajectory for years to come. Golden State's roster features several promising young players, but their development has been inconsistent. Kuminga has shown flashes of brilliance but remains raw. Moody has potential, but hasn't had enough opportunities to prove himself. Meanwhile, Poole's struggles with consistency have raised questions about his ceiling. These young players represent both assets for potential trades and building blocks for the future. The front office must carefully weigh whether to invest in their growth or include them in trade packages for immediate help. Beyond the strategic and financial considerations, potential trades carry significant cultural and emotional weight. Durant's return, for instance, would reignite debates about his legacy and the Warriors' identity. Trading Wiggins for LaVine would alter the team's chemistry, forcing players to adapt to new roles. The Warriors have always been defined by bold decisions, from signing Durant in 2016 to building a dynasty around Curry's unique skill set. Now, as they face another crossroads, the franchise must decide how much risk they're willing to take to chase another championship. With the trade deadline approaching, the pressure on Dunleavy-Dran, the Warriors' front office, is mounting. Every decision carries far-reaching implications, not just for this season, but for the legacy of one of basketball's greatest dynasties. Will they bet on Durant's proven greatness or gamble on LaVine's potential? Or will they take a more conservative approach, focusing on internal development and waiting for the right opportunity? Only time will tell what's the right move. As the Warriors navigate this critical juncture, one thing is clear: the stakes couldn't be higher. With Curry's legacy, the team's culture, and future championship aspirations on the line, every decision must be made with precision and purpose. At the heart of the Golden State Warriors' dilemma is a question that has haunted many successful franchises. How do you stay competitive today while preparing for tomorrow? This is particularly challenging for a team like the Warriors, whose identity is deeply tied to its aging core of Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. These players represent the foundation of the team's success, but they are no longer in their primes. Every decision now is a gamble with time, striving to maximize what's left of their championship window without jeopardizing the team's ability to compete in the post-Curry era. Stephen Curry is the linchpin of the Warriors' success. At 35 years old, he's still performing at an elite level, but the reality is that Father Time catches up with every athlete. Curry's current contract runs through the 2025-2026 season, giving the Warriors a clear, albeit shrinking window to contend for another championship. But it's not just about Curry. Draymond Green, the team's emotional leader and defensive anchor, has shown signs of decline, though he remains a critical piece of their system. Meanwhile, Klay Thompson, who has endured multiple career-altering injuries, is still finding his rhythm. The trio's chemistry and experience are unmatched, but they are no longer the physically dominant forces they once were. Given these circumstances, the Warriors must determine how aggressively they want to push for another title during this window. Should they prioritize trades to maximize the remaining years of Curry's prime, even if it means sacrificing future assets? Or would a more measured approach, focusing on youth development and financial flexibility, better serve the franchise in the long run? Golden State's roster is in a unique position. On one hand, they have a core group of veterans with proven championship pedigree. On the other, they have a collection of young players who represent the future but are still developing. Managing these two timelines is no easy task, as it requires striking the perfect balance between competing today and building for tomorrow. The Warriors are not just chasing another title, they're trying to cement their legacy as one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. Adding a player like Zach LaVine or Kevin Durant would send a clear signal that the team is going all in for another championship. Both players bring star power and skill sets that could elevate the Warriors back to contender status. However, going all in comes at a steep price. Acquiring a star would likely require trading away young players like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, or Jordan Poole, as well as valuable future draft picks. While this would strengthen the team in the short term, it could leave the Warriors with little flexibility and few assets to rebuild once their core players retire. On the flip side, the Warriors could adopt a more conservative approach, focusing on the development of their young players. Jonathan Kuminga, for instance, has shown flashes of brilliance with his athleticism and defensive potential. Moses Moody, though underutilized, has demonstrated a high basketball IQ and shooting ability. Jordan Poole, despite his inconsistencies, has already proven he can be a dynamic scorer. Investing in these players would allow the Warriors to transition seamlessly into a new era, even as Curry and Green age out of their primes. The risk, however, is that this approach could waste the remaining years of Curry's career if the young players don't develop quickly enough to contribute to a championship run. Another major factor in this equation is the financial implications of any big move. The Warriors already have one of the highest payrolls in the NBA, and adding a player like Zach LaVine or Kevin Durant would push them further into luxury tax territory. For context, Zach LaVine's $215 million contract would severely limit the team's ability to make future roster moves. Similarly, Kevin Durant's max contract would require significant sacrifices to fit under the cap. Is it worth sacrificing financial flexibility for a short-term title push? What happens if the move doesn't pay off, leaving the team strapped for cash and draft picks in the years to come? The Warriors' ownership group, led by Joe Lacob, has shown a willingness to spend in the past, but even they have limits. Balancing immediate needs with long-term sustainability isn't just a basketball decision. It's a business decision. The Warriors have faced similar crossroads before. In 2016, they made one of the boldest moves in NBA history by signing Kevin Durant in free agency. That decision paid off handsomely, resulting in back-to-back championships. However, it also came with consequences. The departure of key role players like Harrison Barnes and the loss of future flexibility ultimately contributed to the team's struggles following Durant's exit in 2019. Today, the Warriors must decide whether they are willing to take another risk of this magnitude. Would trading for a star like Durant or LaVine bring similar success, or would it backfire and leave the team scrambling to rebuild? If the Warriors decide against making a major trade, they'll need to focus on maximizing the potential of their current roster. This means giving players like Kuminga and Moody more opportunities to grow, experimenting with new lineups, and trusting Steve Kerr to find solutions within the team's existing framework. The key question here is whether the current roster has enough firepower to compete in a loaded Western Conference. Teams like the Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Lakers, and Phoenix Suns are all legitimate contenders, and the Warriors can't afford to fall behind. Perhaps the most compelling reason to prioritize short-term success is Stephen Curry's legacy. Curry is already a top 10 player in NBA history, but every additional championship would elevate his status even further. The Warriors owe it to Curry to give him the best possible chance to compete for titles during the twilight of his career, but at what cost? If the team mortgages its future for one last title push, it risks falling into mediocrity once Curry retires. The franchise must carefully weigh whether the potential rewards are worth the risk. The Warriors are at a defining moment in their history. The decisions they make in the coming weeks will determine not only the outcome of this season, but the trajectory of the franchise for years to come. Balancing the present and the future is a delicate act, but it's one the Warriors must master if they hope to remain a powerhouse in the NBA. What do you think? Should the Warriors prioritize immediate success or focus on building for the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of all things basketball.